Hi guys, I'm KB. This is Jasmine, and this is Eve, and this is the MKT Ready Podcast. Are you market ready?
I'm trying to be. Every day. Are you?
No.
Let's talk about it.
Mom's driving for it every day. You market ready, Jazz?
Absolutely not.
She said, absolutely not.
Not even
though.
close.
Why? Absolutely not.
Listen, we'll get into it.
Okay. We'll get into it. But today, I really want to talk about, imposter syndrome. Life is hard. And I feel like to, get anywhere, you have to do so many new things. And it's I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, doing.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you. And the funny thing is, I feel like we're all just making it up as we go along. So nobody knows. Sometimes I try to talk to my friends, ask them for advice, and they're like, I don't know what I'm doing either. So it's wild hopping into anything, whether it's owning a business or just making any type of lifestyle change. Can be complicated, can be confusing.
It's the blind leading the blind.
Yo, it's the blind leading the blind. We are kids.
Right? Wait, you can't see either?
You can't either. You have contacts on.
Right. I got contacts in because I'm blind. No, it's we're just kids trying to make a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And there's no blueprint. There's no rule book. It's just we're fumbling around until we find something that sticks.
So I guess where have you felt you felt imposter syndrome?
Oof.
Yo, every day. Every day. I think more recently, just in starting this new company. It's
What company?
Well, market ready, of course. But just in starting this new company, it's we're making all these changes and we think that they're gonna be for the best. And we hope they're gonna be for the best. And it feels like it's for the best. But at the end of the day, it's I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying. But I think that's the key though. I think not enough people just try. And I think that's what just sets you apart from other people is understanding I don't know what I'm doing. I'm probably not doing it right. But I'm still gonna try.
We're executing.
Right? Exactly. What about you, Jazz?
Listen, it's just especially living in New York City, growing up, from New Mexico, literally the middle of nowhere.
Wait, we are all just some kids from the West. I guess, well, okay. You lived in upstate.
Yeah.
Technically, okay, it's different. Me and Jazz were from the West Coast.
Correct.
New Mexico in the house.
I was born in Albuquerque.
New Mexico. Come on. But sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, it's just the transition of being in a big city. Everyone is trying to be the best.
Dude.
And it's just, am I the best?
Yo. Right?
Yeah, it's hard.
Everyone is trying to be the best. But it's nice because I feel like it's almost comforting because we're all running this rat race. So we all get it. And we try to come together and motivate each other and help each other on our ventures. And that kind of ties into our special guest today. We have my friend Christina with us. And Christina's just she's so great. She's on a new adventure in life and she's focusing on yoga. And she's one of the friends where I was we're starting this podcast. You want to just come hang out and chat with us? And she was yeah, absolutely. So we'll get to talking to Christina later. But imposter syndrome is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
When have you felt imposter syndrome?
So many times. I mean, I think one of the biggest areas of my life is kind of in being an artist also. It's kind of a way of life where you have to be really introspective and kind of analyze your surroundings, and that hyper analysis can work against you sometimes. So you start to question, okay, even though I have this gift, is what I'm making actually good? Does it have any value?
I do want to pause though because you were very talented.
Facts. You're being a little humble.
You're being very humble. He's being very humble. He
He
doesn't want to get into it.
He doesn't want to promote.
He doesn't want to promote it, so we won't.
We
But
can do that later.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, so just that, and like just knowing that, I guess one thing that's helped is I watch like a lot of artist interviews and try to peer into like the mindsets of people who've already made it, who have already established, and it seems like it's a universal feeling, it's a universal sentiment, and it also seems like one of the unifying factors that everybody talks about is how they just kind of work through it. So, I don't know if what I'm making is great, but I'm just going to try anyway. I'm going to make this thing anyway. And I want to make sure it's authentic to who I am, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Because that's all it is like seeing what happens.
Yeah.
Like working through it. I think working through it, that's a really important note, is doing anything that's out of the ordinary, you're going to be scared.
I think on top of that, it's like we are literally at the odds of all, like, we have everything going against us. Like, we're young.
Yeah.
We're women.
Yeah.
Well, minus Eve.
Right. No, yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's get into it.
And so it's like we're coming through imposter syndrome. It's like we're escaping this norm of like we can't do it. And it's like we're doing it.
Right. We are doing it. We're dog tired. I wanted to. We're doing it. We were so tired, but
waking up,
working nonstop, shifting to a different kind of work nonstop, trying to move our bodies, get movement in there, like, and still like protect our minds, protect our souls, like still be a human being. And just like back to what you said, like it's working through it. Like you just have to like work through it. And that means like when you're tired, you still get up and you still go to your laptop and you still do the work. And that can be like the hardest part, because when you're tired, your body wants rest, but sometimes you can't give it rest when it asks for it. And I think like being in a phase where you're trying to do so many things, like all of us sitting here are doing so many things, and rest is one of the things that like we have to literally like carve out time for, because it's very hard. Yeah,
for sure. I've literally had to like put it in my mind that I'm going to prioritize sleeping. Did it work? No.
Today we did.
Today, yeah. Last night was amazing.
Oh my gosh, guys, we slept. We slept, but I'm not even going to lie. I'm not even going to try to front. I could not sleep last night.
That's on you.
So I'm very happy for you guys. But I could not sleep last night, which was irritating, but it's fine.
We're still tonight.
We're still here. We're working through it. We're working through it.
Baby steps.
I mean, yeah, it's easier said than done, but yeah, it's important to just do the thing. Just take that first step.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn the laptop on.
Just turn it on.
Lyric,
yeah. I love that.
Submit that application.
I
feel that.
Yeah, and I think
welcome back to the MKT Ready Podcast. My name is Jazz. I'm here with Kendra and our special guest, Christina. Welcome, Christina.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. How are you feeling today?
I'm good. I'm excited to be here and talk about all these fun topics with you guys, especially because I haven't really spoken about this to the general public. So
secret. Special edition.
We're just so happy to like have you. Thank you so much for being here today. Like seriously. And I just think it's really unique. Like, we're talking about like imposter syndrome and like just navigating a new environment and like trying to become like market ready. And so, I wanted to take a moment to like talk about like your adventure and like what you're doing right now. And this is an exclusive. This is a Market Ready exclusive. Christina has not shared this story yet. So we're very happy that she's doing that with us today. But I would love for you to just like, I don't know, talk to us about what's going on, man.
Yeah, so I was recently laid off from my corporate job, and surprisingly, I felt very freed and liberated after it happened. I was more so mourning my move to a different apartment that could no longer be after that happened. And then I realized one day, like, wow, I was more upset about my apartment than my job. And it's like, it just made me realize how complacent I had become in that role, kind of just being able to support the lifestyle that I wanted or thought that I wanted maybe, but not really feeling fulfilled. So instead of just like applying to other positions and trying to get back into work, I decided that I'm gonna like take some time and, pursue something that I've been passionate about for a while now, which is yoga. So I'm gonna be taking my yoga certification, hopefully in India, coming up soon, and I'll be away for a month just doing that. And hopefully when I get back, I'll just be starting a new lifestyle adventure.
It's like, so first of all, India is so exciting. Like, that's so exciting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss you. Like, that's crazy. Like, she's leaving for a month.
Wait, have you been to India?
Have I been to
Yeah.
India? Girl. No.
Have you ever been?
No, we are all yogis,
Have you
so
ever
we should
been?
all go.
I almost went, but no.
Does that count?
No.
But I don't know. I think that's amazing. Yeah, and I mean, we all practice yoga. Jasmine and I got our certification here in Jersey City.
Yeah.
And if I had the opportunity to, if I had the freedom to, I would love to go to India and get my 200 hours. Like, that's literally a dream.
Is it
Exactly.
the 200 or are they 1,000 hours?
200. Yeah, but it's one of those things, right, where if you had the time, you would love to do it. And it was just so perfectly placed for me because I was about to take a program here over the course of the next 5 months and still work my job. And then that just kind of like delays the lifestyle that you want and delays teaching and all of the things that I want to pursue. So, and then like an immersive experience also going to India, like getting to really get a feel for it is going to be something that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. And oh my gosh, you said 1,000 hours. Do you know how long it takes to get your 1,000 hours?
So like 3 months?
No.
If you're doing it every day.
This curriculum for 200 hours, we're like up at 5:30 and done with yoga at like 8:30. I think there's
month?
like,
Do
for
you have
26
breaks?
days. Yeah, there'll be, breakfast, lunch, dinner type stuff going on. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we get to eat.
But it is like just yoga school. Like you're learning the
that.
theory, the philosophy, the everything.
I love that. I think, and then the thing is like, I've done several yoga retreats. Wait a second. We met.
Yeah. On a yoga retreat.
We met on a yoga retreat.
Yeah.
And so they're like life-changing experiences, and you like meet so many great people who like become like cemented into your life. So I'm just like really excited to like hear about your experience. But I guess let's talk a little bit about like, you're doing a huge thing, right? And like, how does that feel?
I thought I would be more scared than I am. It's like a strange calm. I'm a very anxious person. I get like scared to like go on the subway alone. Like, I mean, I do it, but you know what I mean? Like, I just get scared to do so many things that this just feels right. I mean, like, I'm terrified in the sense that like, there's so many things could happen. What if I get back and decide teaching's not for me? And like, that's totally valid and could happen, or a bunch of things. But I think I'm really just trying to take it like one step at a time, like one small step at a time. So like preparing for this trip and going, it's just like a lesson in living in the moment and trying to enjoy now because I don't know what's going to come out of it. And I want to go in with an open mind and just see.
I love that. And I think that's something really important to note, because it's like, even when you're doing a scary thing, it feels almost just like right. Like you're not as scared as you think you would be because it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's like something that I know, like myself, I'm learning too, is like we're all doing very scary things, but it's less of like a fear and more just like, wow, this is a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. You don't realize how much it's going to be. Like, I was teaching myself content creation on Instagram, and like I was a producer for 3 years and I still have those skills, but it was a whole different world. And I'm like, wow, it's just like, it's also humbling to be like, no, you can't just like decide to change your life. You have to like, actively be immersed in what is the process going to look like to get to where I want to go. And I'm thankful to have the time to do it. Like, a lot of people, are balancing a lot all of the time. And to be able to kind of strip that down for me right now, at least the major thing, which was my 9 to 5, that's huge. Like, something that not a lot of people get to do. So,
yeah. And you mentioned you're teaching yourself content creation. So have we created a special Instagram for our content? Do we want to share it with our viewers?
Yes. At Christina the Yogi. That will be me. I did a lot of research in like the logistics of it, and how to make an account, hopefully for people to follow. Actually, when I'm going away to India, the program is partially sponsoring me to go there and post content from their program to be like, this is the program I'm in India and I'm promoting yoga, and just we have the same kind of core values and beliefs. So they're like, we would love for you to share that with your audience, and we'll like help you come here since I don't have an income stream right now. So that's huge. And so I'll be sharing a lot about my yoga journey there, but also kind of having content to post all of the time is something that is overwhelming. And so I've kind of broken it up into 3 categories of what I will be sharing on the account, which is more fitness and yoga practices, like, a little circuit, like workouts, and then yoga advice, which I feel like imposter syndrome, because like I don't have, I haven't studied yoga really yet. So it feels a little bit weird to be doing the yoga advice, but I mean, I practice it all the time for the past like 4 years. So like I'm doing yoga advice, and hopefully it'll get better as my content continues. And then also just positive thoughts, just like reels of fun poses and just thoughts that I want to share that I think could be helpful for anyone trying to live a more yoga lifestyle.
Yeah, okay, and something I wanted to touch on, right, because you hear, oh, I got a brand to help sponsor me to go, and you think, oh, this person has like a gazillion followers on Instagram. Christina, how many followers do you have on your new account?
Okay, well, I just went public yesterday, so there's like 150 maybe.
Which is huge. For going public yesterday, like that's huge, but I think it's important to note, like, you don't need a huge following to just like ask. And like, so I would love for you to talk about like, how did you ask,
Right. I emailed them and they didn't get back to me. And then I Instagram DM'd them because, hey, if that's the platform I'm going to be using, then I want them to see me on there. And I messaged them on my main account because that's when I was using at the time. And yeah, they got back to me on Instagram and they were like, kind of interested to hear more. And then they were just like, yeah, that sounds great. Like, I kind of just introduced it like, I'm passionate about yoga. I'm going through this giant life change. I want to come to your program. I like your program specifically because A, B, and C, and I would love to share my experience with my viewers. And I also kind of noted that I know like the concept of social media doesn't really jive or resonate with a lot of maybe yoga programs. And so I was apprehensive that that might be the case. And ultimately, I did get one response that was negative in that way. But these people were like, honestly, we can see how that could help, because a lot of the deeper yoga methods and practices and philosophies you won't see online. You'll see a lot of really pretty flows and workouts, and that's all great and I love it, but like you don't see a lot of the deeper stuff. And so to like show the viewers like how like the day to day of what you're doing and how much work goes into getting this, I think would be really great to put out there. So I think they just agreed, and at the end of the day they're like, yeah, let's do it. So
I love that. And I think that's an excellent lesson for anyone, is just ask. Mm-hmm. Just ask.
Yeah.
Because
closed mouths don't get fed.
Right. Closed mouth does not get fed. And the thing is the worst they're going to do is say no. Mm-hmm. Like, anyone can take a no. But reality is people don't like to say no. So they're probably going to give you at least half of what you want. Mm-hmm. And that's a win. So it's like, don't be afraid to just ask for what you want.
Right.
So I love that you did that.
They want to work with you a lot of the time because, like, if I'm this excited about going, like, I'm sure they're excited to have me, to some extent.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And so something else you said is talking about, like, having to make a daily commitment to your practice. And so something that we practice in trying to become market ready, but we are not yet market ready. Okay, we are working on it. But the thing about becoming market ready is it's a daily commitment to bettering yourself, to doing better, to focusing on your mind, body, and soul. Mm-hmm. And it really intertwines with the practice of yoga and honestly the practice of anything. Mm-hmm. Because to get good at anything, to get better at anything, consistency. It's a daily commitment. So I think it's really awesome that you're making that daily commitment to yourself.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for being here. You know what, guys? You know what time it is? It's tea time.
Welcome back to the MKT Ready Podcast. I'm Eve, and we have Kendra and Jasmine as well. So we're going to continue our discussion about imposter syndrome, but kind of delve into some personal stories. It's tea time. So who's serving it up today?
Ooh, we're gonna start with Jazz.
Ooh.
Jazz, what kind of tea you got for us?
The type of tea. We're talking about imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we need a little background. So I work in corporate America. I work for a law firm in New York. Very stressful, very busy all the time.
Not to mirror.
No. It requires all of my time. Well, most of it. 9 to 5 type of situation. And I was balancing that while also helping Kendra and Eve basically start the business, get it running off the foot.
Our first business.
Correct. And it was starting to get a bit overwhelming. I was also studying for the LSAT at the time, trying to apply to law school, a lot of things going on. And one day, wasn't I running social media at that point?
Yeah, you were a content manager.
Yeah.
And I think studio manager.
Yeah,
briefly.
and we were in school for becoming a yoga instructor. There was just a million and one, too many things.
Yeah.
And this was my first year in New York City.
She was a baby. She was new.
Everything was going on. Everything was going on at once, and I just didn't know how to handle it. So one day, I remember coming into the studio. I think it was for a class or some type. I needed to be here. More of the story. And so Kendra was like, hey, let's just chat. Let's have a conversation. And
I don't like having conversations. Let's just put it out there now. Imposter syndrome for real. Like, part of my job is having like really real conversations with people, and it's like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
but
it's tough. But
it's
yeah,
tough.
So she pulled me aside after I taught. We went outside to have a conversation, and it was in this hallway, one of the doors. She was like, hey, let's just sit down. And she was like, can you handle this? This is something that makes sense for you. And I was like, I am a ride or die. I will do anything and everything for the people that I love. I am there from beginning to end. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to see it through.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, of course I can. You got this. Easy. Not easy. Was not thinking. She's like, I need you to sit on it, like think about it, and then get back to me because I don't want an answer right now. And I was like, but she wanted an answer right now. More of the story. She is not a patient person.
I am not a patient person, but I did want you to think about it.
You did want me to think about it,
because it's I really meant it. I meant it when I asked, can you do all this? Because it is a lot, and recognizing it's a lot, it's important to like check in with yourself and reevaluate like how you're feeling. Yeah.
So I thought about it. It took me a few days, and I sat down, and I had talked to multiple people. Like, I talked to my therapist about it. I talked to the person I was seeing at the time about it. I talked to my mom about it. And I, never talked to my mom about anything. And I was like, you know what? I can't do this. And I have to take a step back from something. And it's like, I know it can't be law because right now law is paying the bills.
Yeah.
And that's
bills got to get paid.
That's just what had to be done at that point in time.
Yeah.
So now it was time for me to have an uncomfortable conversation with Kendra. And so I was like, let's go out to dinner. I think I know what I need to do. And so we went out to dinner. And so we went on our walks in the city.
A little walkie poo.
And I was like, Kendra, I think I need to take a step back from the studio. Like, I need to take a step back from the role that I have. And although she knew it was coming, it was a rough patch.
It was a rough patch in our friendship. I think
it was a lot to take.
I want to make sure we do mention that because being in business with friends is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough because you have to have really real, raw conversations, and you're not always going to feel great.
Yeah.
And so that was a rough patch in our friendship for sure.
That was. But I didn't fully, I was like, I'm still here. Like, I'm not saying I can't do anything. Like, I am here to the capacity in which I can be here. And I still showed up for my classes as an instructor. I was there for most events, and just there when I could be there. And so trying to like say no to something for the first time when I said I was going to commit to something was like, I failed at everything. I'm failing at everything. And I wasn't. I wasn't failing at everything, but it felt like I was, and it felt like I was doing everything wrong and like had like this huge mental breakdown.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's okay.
But see, our friendship was at a rough patch, so you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me you were going through, so.
I was not a good communicator at the time.
Yeah.
I then worked on that.
Yes.
We're better. But moral of the story, I felt like I couldn't do anything, and it was just too much at once. And so I took a step back, and then now like I'm slowly inching myself up. I just got a promotion at the studio.
Let's go.
Because now when it's too much or it's like I know I can't do it, I'll tell her rather than be like, yeah, I can do it. Like, no, I can't. So it's just like overcoming that and still continuing to move.
Yeah.
Help the best.
And I think it's important, like, kind of like you said, like, just because you have to take a step back for a moment, it doesn't mean it has to be a permanent step back. Like, I think it's fair and valid to constantly, maybe daily, reevaluate how things are making you feel. And if it's something that is, like, sustainable for you, and being able to, like, pivot, because it's okay. I think something that we learn is like life is long.
Yeah. And everything is changing all the time.
Everything is changing all the time. And it's okay for you to also change all the time. You can change your mind.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows me, anyone who's interacted with me, anyone who's dated me, I all know I change my mind instantly, all the time, consistently.
Yeah.
And I think it's okay to change your mind.
Yeah. But now we're here. And we're doing so much better.
And we're doing so much better. We're on business number 2 now.
Right.
Like, yeah, I think, and it's needed.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, I'm proud of you. Thank you for spilling that tea.
Thanks for letting me.
Yeah, because we have not had this conversation.
No.
So, no, that's really great because it was in this building.
Yeah.
That we had that.
Yeah.
And it was a hard time for me too. Like I said, I don't like having these conversations.
It was rough.
It was a hard time. And we made it through.
Yeah. It needed to happen.
It needed to happen.
Yeah.
It needed to happen.
And I'm glad it happened at the beginning, because if that were to happen like now, we'd be screwed.
Correct. That'd be wild. Yeah.
Better.
We're just so proud and like so grateful for you, for sure.
Oh, I'm grateful for you, both of you.
Aww.
So the market ready. Are you market ready?
Ooh.
How did this come about? Like, what's the origin story?
Well, the Market Ready. So Market Ready was under a different name about 1.5 years ago. And so Kendra and I have been friends for a long time. And this particular time we were having a conversation about a service that she had gone to. And it was all about chasing passion over paper, I believe.
Purpose over paper.
Purpose over paper.
You remember that?
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. You had the bonnet on and everything.
Stop.
Around
Don't
face.
It's the tea.
I thought it was messy tea.
Okay.
Nah, but it was a dark and stormy night, and we were just reflecting because we both work in corporate finance, and which is a blessing. We're happy to have these jobs, but sometimes these roles can be a little bit unfulfilling, and there's a desire for more. Not that these jobs have to provide that, but I think for us intrinsically, we just want a little bit more out of life. And so this particular service, we were just kind of riffing off of it. And she started talking about how she had been walking around her neighborhood and had seen some, spaces for rent. I was like, okay, that's cool. Started talking about, a difficult time that she'd gone through and how taking yoga classes had extremely transformed her life, sparked her mental, physical wellness journey. Yeah. And it was just one of those conversations where this thing happens where like I'm talking about something sometimes and I start to get goosebumps and it feels like it's like a divine moment kind of. And so
Don't cry.
yeah, but so she asked me, she's like, hey, I feel like I'm being called to create a space, like to make a yoga studio. Like I have to go downtown to work out. There's nothing near me. It doesn't make sense. And if something can't be done right, I feel like I should just do it myself. Like, do you want to start this with me? And immediately I was just like, yeah, let's do it. I'm down. And I can't tell you why, but from the moment I met Kendra, I'm like, you're an exceptional individual and we're gonna do something together. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna do something. And so at this juncture, I'm also passionate about physical and mental health. I'm also active, and I just felt like it just felt like a no-brainer. So I was like, yeah, let's do it. And from that point to now,
We founded the first company that night.
oh yeah, that's right, that night.
Yeah.
So while we're on the phone, she's like, okay, let's do it. Boom. Business file.
Impatient.
Yeah.
I have no patience.
And I was like, oh, we're okay, all right. Yeah, it was wild. And then so over the course of that whole year and a half, I can't believe it's been a year and a half.
A year and a half. Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
A year and a half.
I can't believe it. But there have been so many twists and turns, ups and downs throughout that whole journey. But that's how it initially came about. Yeah.
Okay, so like that one company.
Yes.
Why the market?
So as we were trying to like iron out some of the specificities, making sure we get like our name trademarked, because we plan to have a very successful business that's going to stand the test of time. So we just want to put these things in place now. And as we were trademarking that initial name, we found out that there was another company with a similar name, and so we ran into some trouble. And we started thinking about, okay, like how do we communicate the same value that we're trying to provide? Like, what do we say? And it was a very tight timeline to think about that, but again, it was one of those moments where it seemed like a full circle moment. And this is kind of where it delves into your history a little bit. But initially I was thinking about, maybe like something like the market, just because it's kind of like an open concept. And we were thinking about branching away from yoga and also offering Pilates, group fitness, and even like, other components that we can talk about later. But it just seemed like a cool, catchy name, kind of abbreviated as MKT. And then there was also the component of Kimmy. Shout out to Kimmy.
Kimmy is my mom.
Yes.
Kimmy is my mom.
Yeah, so I feel like you should talk about this part, because that's, I think, what drove us to like really choose this name.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. Nod to Kimmy. We all know Kimmy. We love you. We love you. My mother. So growing up, she's always been tough on me. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here. We're spilling the tea. So my mom has always been tough on me. She's always been that person that no matter how great I'm doing, she's like, you can do more. And my mom went through a tragedy. We lost my dad when I was 11, and she had 2 kids and was pregnant with the third, and she really had to pick herself up and move forward. And in part of that, she got her real estate license, and she started selling real estate, amongst other things. My mom is also an entrepreneur. She's also like HR executive, so she wears many hats. But at this time, she wanted to focus on her entrepreneur journey and also be a real estate agent, which honestly is being an entrepreneur as well. Mm-hmm. And so with real estate, you put houses on the market. And my mom's thing is like, you got to get the house ready for the market. So when you get your house ready for the market, you're preparing it, you're working on it, you're cleaning it, you're making improvements to it to get it market ready. And so my mom, she came up with this tagline of, you have to stay market ready. And so she would say that to me growing up. And what it really just meant is that, like, you have to make sure that you're consistently working on yourself and improving yourself so that you don't have to get ready when it's time to be on the market.
Right.
Because if you stay ready, you don't have to get market ready. And so like literally, I kid you not, my mom would say this over and over again. And I'm like, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. Like, mom, stop, you know, like you're embarrassing me. Like, stop saying this. And then she got a license plate that said Market Ready on it. And so it really just became her thing. She's always said it. She's always lived by it. Like, you have to stay market ready. And it really hit for me because kind of like you mentioned, like our previous business, the way I like dove into yoga was I went through a really tough time in my life. I had a very serious relationship and it ended very like traumatically for me.
Right.
And when it was over, I realized I was not ready to be out on the market. I was not ready. And it's funny because in that relationship, my mom tried to tell me, like, you know, make sure you're still taking care of yourself, make sure you're still pouring into yourself. And because I was so wrapped up in this relationship, like, I just was not ready when it ended for me to be out back on the market. So I started diving into yoga for many reasons, not just like, you know, for the physical and mental, but really just to have a place to go to every day and a place to connect with people. And it ended up becoming the catalyst for me becoming market ready. Like, I completely changed my entire life. And it's funny because it's like some people might look at us and be like, oh, you guys are market ready. You guys are the face of market ready. And it's like, no.
No.
No. Moral of the story is that you're really never market ready because you always have something you need to work on. Always.
Right.
But yeah, so the name of the new business, Market Ready, trademarked, is a nod for sure to my mom. It was like a beautiful, like, coming together of just this beautiful thing that we decided. Yeah, full circle. And I think kind of like we said, like when we were talking with Christina, like even when you're doing a scary thing, but if it's that thing you're supposed to be doing, it just like works. It doesn't feel so scary. You're just like, I don't know. People just start randomly saying yes, and like it just happens. And so that's really how it came together.
Yeah. And then so we spun it to kind of mean like the daily commitment to bettering yourself. You know, so we're not in the housing market, we're like in the fitness wellness space. So it really applies to our lives and how even as entrepreneurs, even like pursuing this crazy idea, it's a daily commitment every day, just waking up, telling yourself, we're going to do this. We're going to be successful. We're going to make something great. We're going to positively impact our community and the people in it. You know, it's a daily commitment for us. So we just want to spread that same level of like self-awareness and kind of self-awareness, healing, you know, space for self-improvement for the people around us too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think like life is hard. Life is hard.
For sure.
So it's like in trying to become market ready, every day we experience imposter syndrome, which ties back to everything that we've been discussing today. But I think that for me, oh wow, I didn't even know I was going to talk about this, but it just came up as I'm talking.
Come on.
But I think the most recent time I felt imposter syndrome is actually like in dating. I think I've done a lot of work on like myself. I've done a lot of work like professionally, like just I've done a lot of work on the total package that is me. And more recently, I have gone on a date with someone who like emulates that like total package. Someone who's also done a lot of work on themselves. They have it going on career-wise. They like, and so it was really interesting because I felt like an imposter. Like, have I really done the work to be with someone like this? And it's like, it felt great, like being on a date. It felt great, like everything went great. But there's that lingering feeling in my head, like, wait, do I actually deserve this? And it's crazy because it's like, anybody that knows me, I feel like I'm a pretty good person. I'm like a really good person. I have my shit together, like for sure. I'm good. But I think relationships-wise is an area where I struggle always, consistently.
Yeah.
And my last serious relationship it wasn't good. And I think that like you start to wonder, do I know how to pick a partner?
Sure.
And so I think like really speaking to imposter syndrome and just like really questioning and doubting myself and doubting everything that I've built. Like, I know I'm solid, but I feel like when you're faced with the time to really show that you're solid, it's like, oh wait, can I do this? And so yeah, so that's like me feeling I am currently going through imposter syndrome.
It's an everyday struggle.
It is an everyday struggle, which is why it is a daily commitment.
Yeah, literally.
It's a daily commitment. So am I market ready? No.
But we're getting.
But we're getting there. We're working on it.
Exactly. Love that.
And that was tea time. Guys, thanks so much for like chatting with me today. You know, we're gonna get together and we're gonna have these conversations. And I think like it's important to just like talk about life and things that we go through, like being young and just trying to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Cool. Till next time.
Till next time.
Till next time. Thank you for watching the Market Ready Podcast.
We want to say thank you to our special guest.
Yeah. Thank you to our special guest, Christina.
Thank you, Christina.
Thanks, Christina.
Namaste.
Namaste.
As you breathe in, be aware that you're breathing in. And as you breathe out, notice that you're breathing out.
All right, that's it. We're out of here.
And with that, until next time, bye.